hello everyone, and welcome to this session, which is part of our Carers Week programme. It's very different this year. We'd usually be out and about at events all the way across Kirklees, and obviously we can't do that this year, so we're trying to make contact with carers in different ways. It's new to us, and it's probably new to you, so please bear with me if we have any technical issues, or if one of my two cats decide to join us. It's been a really steep learning curve for all of us, and we're out of our comfort zone. But it can only be a good thing to learn new skills and learn different ways of making contact with our carers. So today's session is to try and explain what advocacy is and how it can help you. Whenever I tell people what I do for a living, I'm an independent advocate, I tend to get very blank looks. So I'm hoping that this session will help people understand the advocacy role and understand how an advocate might be able to support them. I'm going to spend some time talking about advocacy. I've got a couple of colleagues who are around as technical support. So if you've got any questions as I'm going along, if you want to type them in the comments box, my two colleagues will do their best to have a look at them and answer them. If they're unable to, when I finish talking, I'll have a look at the comments and see if there's anything else I can answer. And if there's loads and loads of comments and we don't have time to answer them all, we will look at them afterwards and we'll try and get back to you with answers to your questions. So as an advocate, and I'm an advocate for carers, unpaid carers who are caring for someone, I can help you to express your views and your wishes and help to ensure that your voice is heard in the health or social care issue you're involved with. If you feel you aren't being listened to and decisions are maybe being made for you and the person you care for rather than with you, then I can try and act as a loudspeaker for your voice and try and ensure that the professionals involved listen. So carers often have many health and social care professionals involved in their lives, and they may think they know best, but as an advocate, I believe that you know best. You're the expert on your situation, and you should be recognised as that. So sometimes pet carers feel they're not being listened to and their opinions aren't being taken seriously and given due consideration. You might, as a carer, lack all the information you need about what your rights are and what your entitlements are and what options are available to you. So as an advocate, I'll try and help you access all the information that you need so that you can make your own fully informed decisions. So sometimes unpaid carers struggle to communicate with professionals because they're unsure. It's a very complex system, is the health and social care system. And we can try and navigate you through it and explain how it works. So as an advocate, we don't give advice. We don't try and steer anyone in any particular direction. We work alongside you. We're someone in your corner to support you to be heard when you've made a decision. And it's irrelevant if I, as an advocate, agree with that decision you make. I won't judge you. I won't give you my opinion. I'll simply support you to express your opinion and your choices. There's a lot of local authorities that don't fund carers advocacy unless in certain situations where they legally have to. So we're really lucky that in Kirklees, the local authority recognise the value and the importance of advocacy for carers. And our commissioners at the local authority recognise the huge value of unpaid carers, and they recognise what a difficult job they do, and they're passionate about supporting you. In some other local authorities, the carers are very envious because they don't have the carers advocacy service that Kirklees make available to you all. So clients often say to me that they feel that getting the right care and support in place for the cared for can feel like a very lonely uphill battle. So an advocate can work alongside you so that you know there's someone in your corner and you're no longer alone. Sometimes there can be conflict and difficult relationships between the carer and the social care or health professionals involved with their case. Carers sometimes say they feel barriers are put in the way and they struggle to get the support they need for themselves and for the person they're caring for. And I do understand it can feel like that. These professionals are often in a very difficult position because they see the bigger picture. They're aware of the huge budget constraints on them because there's been a lot of funding cuts from central government. And these health and social care professionals have loads and loads of clients whose needs they need to try and meet. Whereas you, the carers, are understandably completely focused on your own situation and getting the right care in place for you and the person you're caring for. So sometimes having an advocate supporting you can be really helpful. We can explain exactly what your rights are and negotiate with the professionals involved on your behalf if needed. Because as a carer, obviously you're understandably very passionate and emotionally invested in getting what you need for yourself and for your person you're caring for. And as an advocate, I'm absolutely passionate about carers being heard and being treated in a way that ensures that their rights and the rights that the person they're caring for are met. But because I don't have that emotional attachment, it's easier for me to remain calm and not get angry or upset. If I know I'm fighting for something for myself or for someone I love, I'm very emotional about it and I'll get angry if I feel I'm being treated unfairly. When I'm angry, I start crying and then I get angrier because I can't communicate effectively when I'm crying. And many carers say this is why they struggle to have effective communication with professionals because they get angry and upset and feel they aren't being taken seriously. So, if an advocate can help that communication process, communicating with the professionals involved, we don't have the emotional involvement that you've got. So, it can be far easier for us to negotiate and communicate with the professionals um, without getting emotional. And that can be far more productive, and the relationship between the carer and the professionals involved can really improve if an advocate becomes involved. Our aim really is that through providing advocacy and helping you to understand your rights and entitlements and working alongside you to help you express yourself, you'll eventually get the confidence and skills that you need to self advocate and to be able to advocate for the person you're caring for. Understanding your rights under the Care Act, for example, can be extremely empowering because you're then talking from a position of knowledge, and having that knowledge can really give you the confidence to advocate for yourself and advocate for the person you're caring for. So, as an advocate, we'll only be involved if there's a specific issue that you're struggling with to do with the health and social care system, and we'll work with you on that issue until we come to the conclusion. We can never guarantee that you'll get the outcome you want, and it's sort of not about the outcome you want, it's about ensuring that you really feel you are being listened to, you're being heard, and you're being understood, and that your choices and decisions are taken seriously. And we'll support you to put the best case forward that you can to try and change the things you're trying to change. Quite often, excuse me, when we start working with people, people are often struggling with a difficult situation and they might be quite upset and very low in confidence. So initially, we might, in consultation with carers, start by making quite a lot of phone calls on their behalf um, alongside you so you can hear how we speak with the professionals. And as the case progresses, we sort of hope that more and more the you will get the confidence to be able to make more of those phone calls yourself. But we never push someone where they're not comfy to go. And we'll stay involved as long as needed until we come to a conclusion of the issue. And then we close the case. We don't work with people forever, but once we've closed the case, if another new issue crops up in the future, we're always available. You can always refer yourself for advocacy again. Um, we do often run with a waiting list. At the moment, I think it's probably about 2 to 4 weeks. Um, but we try and triage and take urgent cases if we can as soon as possible. But we're not an emergency service, so it's very rare that we'd be able to leap in and do something immediately. So the practical stuff that we do, we will help people to prepare for meetings. Maybe we'll make a list of things you want to achieve, what you want to get out of the meeting, the things you want to say, so we can make notes with that you can take with you into the meeting. We can go to meetings with you because it can be quite daunting when there's a lot of professionals in the room and you. So it's someone to be with you by your side in the meeting. We can prompt you. We can speak for you. If you get upset, which often happens, then we can take over until you've got your composure back. And then after meetings, we can meet up with you or have a phone call and just have a look at whether we've achieved what you wanted to. If not, what next steps we might need to take. So the sort of meetings and assessments we might be with you at, things like person-led assessments, carer assessments, multidisciplinary meetings. If there's a lot of health and social care services involved, there can be some quite big meetings that can be daunting. We can go to meetings if you're trying to get an assessment to see if you qualify for some healthcare funding. We can go to best interest meetings and meetings to try and resolve complaints you might have. We also work with parent carers, so parents who've got a child under 18 who's got additional needs. So we can support parent carers at things like EHCP meetings, child in need meetings, child protection meetings, child care assessments, all that sort of thing is quite routine for the sort of things that we do. Another thing that we can do is help you make informal and formal complaints. Often an early informal complaint and maybe a face-to-face meeting with the people that you're unhappy with can actually be really successful, and it can resolve the situation without having to go through the stress of going through the formal complaint process. But if it is an informal complaint and you're not happy with the outcome of it, then we can work alongside you to help you make a formal complaint if that's what you want to do. And if eventually you're still not happy with the outcome, we can help you to go to the local government ombudsman to make a complaint. There's loads of various issues that we work with, and it's impossible to give a complete list of the sort of stuff we work with. But a few examples is we've been running sorry, I've got a kitten trying to join me. We've been running a bit of a project with Kirklees about future planning. So this is targeted at both elderly carers who might be living with their adult child who has learning difficulties, and the parents might be starting to wonder what will happen to their loved one once they're no longer around or able to provide the care. So we can support those parents to start the process of working out a good future solution for a living accommodation type place for their loved one once they're no longer able to provide the care. And we do that a lot. We work a lot with the accommodation officers at Kirklees, which is Lauren Davis and Kulsum Dalal, and Gary Wainwright, who's the Commissioner for Services. And it can take a long time to find the right place that you're happy with and that your adult children are happy with. And it doesn't matter if it takes a long time. You want to get it right, and we'll stick with you and support you as much as you need us to during that process. I have worked with families where it's taken 2 years to finally find the right place, but we've got there in the end. We can, when parent carers have a child with additional needs and they get to sort of 15, 16, 17, and they're ready to transition from children's services to adult services, that's a real big change in the way that the services are provided and what's available. So if parents are struggling with that, we can work alongside them to help them understand what changes are coming and all the different things that are available to them. We do future planning as well with young people who are, if parents are starting to think about them getting to 18, 19, 20, they might want to think about living a bit more independently from the parents. Then again, we can help with that and support people with that, um, to try and find the right solution. There's lots of different options available. And again, we work with Lauren, Coulson and Gary on that project. Another common issue that crops up is issues around direct payments. So if you are caring for someone and they've got eligible needs, so the local authority need to meet those needs, there's various ways they can do that. And one of the ways is the local authority might commission a service to go in and provide the care that you need for your loved one. Or you could choose to get direct payments where instead of the local authority commissioning a service, they will work out what you need and what the value of that care will be and give you that money. And you then go and choose your own service to try and meet those needs in the best way for the person that you're caring for. So it can give you a bit more control over how the care is provided. It can make it easier to make it person centred and really focused on meeting the person you're caring for's needs in the best possible way. It can be a bit complex and it can take a while to set up, but as advocates, we can sort of help you through that process and explain what's going. The care navigation team are also brilliant at supporting with um, direct payment issues. Sometimes we work with people who need adaptations in their home and they get assessed and they don't feel that the adaptations that are being offered by the local authority really match what they think they need. And that can be a difficult situation. So we can work with carers on that and help you communicate with the team who I've forgotten what they're called, but it's basically, I think it's the assistive technology team. But it's the people who work out what adaptations you need, which ones they can physically do, and the best way of getting the facilities you need within your home. So if you're not getting the outcome that you're hoping for, we can't guarantee to get you that outcome, but we can help you to negotiate with that team. Quite often people have an issue with the care package that's been put in place for them. So it might be that the local authority have said they think you need 4 care calls a day, and you think that's actually a bit too intrusive and a bit too much, and it might restrict how much you can go out and about with your loved one and the person you're caring for. You might feel that 2 care calls a day are more realistic as to the help you need. So again, we can help you to communicate and negotiate with the local authority to try and come to a solution that everyone's happy with. Sometimes people think they need more help than they're being offered, and they don't know how to challenge the decision on what they're being offered, and they don't know if they can challenge it. So again, an advocate can work alongside you and basically try and negotiate with the local authority and try and get an outcome you're all happy with. It may well be that compromises have to be made because there are budget limitations and restrictions, but we can be someone in your corner with those negotiations, which even if you don't get the outcome you want, hopefully you're going to benefit from knowing there's someone in your corner with you. Other things, we'll work with people in child protection cases. We can go to a lot of the meetings that might be happening. We quite often work with people who their loved one might be in a care home and you're unhappy with the care that's being provided. So again, we can help you to communicate with the care home and try and get a plan in place that you're happy with. We might have issues with care agencies who are coming into the home. You might feel unhappy with the level of care they're providing or the amount of time they're staying, but feel a bit unsure who to complain to and how. So we can help you. We can tell you, give you the best knowledge we have on how to try and address that. Sometimes people just need a chat with us so to steer them in the right direction to navigate through the system. So sometimes we get a referral and we just need a chat on the phone, and that's enough for people to think, okay, I know what my rights are now. I know how the system works. I'm happy to take it on myself. And that's great. Some people need you to stay with them a little bit longer, um, so that they've got the confidence to carry on trying to get the outcome that they're hoping for. So we don't want to make people dependent on us in any way, shape, or form. Our whole aim is that by the end of the issue, you've got the confidence and the knowledge about what you're entitled to and your rights to be able to self advocate and address the issues yourself. Um, Sometimes there can be disputes about the timing of residential care. Someone might feel that the cared for can still be looked after at home, and the local authority might think now the time's really getting on for them to go into residential care. So again, we can work alongside the carer and try and come negotiate an outcome that everyone's happy with. And we can't guarantee that you'll get what you want. I know I keep saying that, but we can't. And it's not about that. It's about you knowing there's someone in your corner and you feeling listened to by all the services involved. And another thing that we often get involved with is issues around financial assessment. So looking at working out what contribution the cared for might have to make towards their own care that's being provided. And sometimes that can cause quite a lot of upset or confusion for people. So it's quite a common thing that we'll work with, and just try and help guide people through that system and sometimes negotiate with client financial affairs on your behalf. That's about everything that I'd thought I wanted to say. If you bear with me, I'm just going to have a look at the comments and see if I can see anything that's being asked. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions at the moment, but I might not be able to see them all. If there are questions, hopefully my colleagues have answered them. And if there aren't questions, but you come up with some later, if you're watching this later, just please type them in the comment box and we will get back to you when we can to try and answer your questions. Okay, it's nice seeing you all. I hope you've enjoyed this and I hope it's been useful. Thank you. Bye.